Elliott Morgan. A lot of people don't like my stand-up comedy. Just figured I should mention that up front, you know? They say that the main critique is that I can sometimes be a little pretentious. But to that I say, you know, I'm reminded of Carl Jung, who said, quote, "In each of us there is another whom we do not know." Isn't that beautiful? For example, I don't want people to know that the length of my penis will only ever get like an honorable mention. And that's actually being generous considering the amount of dishonorable discharges it's experienced. End quote. And that's what I like about Carl Jung, you guys. Sorry if I come off a little bit like off tonight. I just got back from my home state of Florida. And and as you know, meth takes a little bit of time to get out of your system. So I got kind of, we're gonna ease into this, you know. When I was there, I was driving around with my dad, and he pointed at a house and he goes, "You see that house right there? The man in that house was just arrested for plotting to kill his wife and 3 kids." And I was like, "You see, Dad? This is why I moved, you know, because no one in this town has any follow through." I'm from Central Florida specifically, which is it's like the cultural equivalent of like a hot dog. It's like just a bunch of random shit put into one thing, and a few times a year you're like, "This is gonna be a good idea," and then you get diarrhea. You've been to Florida. You know how it is. I don't know what my ethnicity is at all. I have no idea. If you have any guesses, please let me know after the show. I would love to find out. When I was a kid, I asked my dad, and he just said Republican, which actually checks out, because I also have no idea what I'm doing, ever. I think I'm like the embodiment of the Republican Party as a whole, because I used to have my crap together, and now I have no idea what I stand for. But most of all, I have a very difficult time connecting with the youth. So, a lot of people think that I'm gay, and I get that because I've seen mirrors. It's not the case. I think I look like a Leonardo DiCaprio Jello mold, you know? I think I look like a girl was like planning like a bachelorette party, you know, or like going to a bachelorette party, so she went to a novelty store and she got a Leonardo DiCaprio Jello mold and she gave it to the bachelorette at the bachelorette party, and the bachelorette was like, "Let's make it now," and the girl who did plan the bachelorette party was like, "Well, I had a whole schedule, but like I got whatever you want," and then they get the Jello and they like mix it with the white powder and they put it in the mold, and then they put the mold in the refrigerator for 4 hours, and they take it out after 4 hours and they plop it on the kitchen counter, and then like all the girls gather around and they look at it and they're like, "Well, it kind of looks like Leonardo DiCaprio, but this is definitely like 100% Jello." I recently finished paying my taxes, which hurt. And I called my dad to complain because he's conservative, and I thought I'd get some sympathy. And instead, he just goes, "Elliott, if you didn't pay taxes, you wouldn't have roads. Don't you like driving on roads?" is what he said. And I was like, "Dad, I live in Los Angeles. No." actually hate driving on roads. I would love to be stuck in rush hour traffic on the 405 and then hop onto the shoulder and gun it, because where I'm going, I don't need roads, turns out. My exit is a quarter mile down, but if I do that, I'll get pulled over by a police officer whose salary is paid for by what?
My taxes.
You see, it's a Ponzi scheme. Do you know, like it's a positive feedback loop is what they like to call that in science. It's like, Elliott, if you didn't pay for taxes, you wouldn't have a fire department. I said, Dad, again, good. I live in a city that is perfectly designed for 1/3 of the amount of people that live here. That means that statistically speaking, 2/3 of the people in this city could burn to death, and life would only get better for the rest of us. It would be sad, for sure, for a while, and there would be like a lot of funerals, but nobody would be late to them. I'm Elliott Morgan. Thank you guys very much.